we're not trusting in His guidance, then everything is going to fall apart in life. It doesn't matter where you're trying to get out of, Miguel. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how hard you strive for whatever goals you're going. If you don't have your heart placed in the right spot, even if you succeed in the world's eyes, you're going to fail. Because we're here temporarily. That's our belief. All of us that are here, whether you believe it or not, this is just a stopping point. This is just a training ground for eternity. This is not where we live. This isn't home. This is a very small period in time. No matter how long your life is, if you live to be 120 years old, it's a blink of an eye in the middle of eternity. So what we do here is important, the choices that we make, but it's not our ultimate goal. The world sells us success as being money and fame and all the stuff that you see on MTV and all the stuff you see in the commercials and all the stuff they post out in the movies and everything else. And it's just, really it's just garbage. It's trash. It's not the stuff that's important to life. The things that are important to life are the interactions that we're having right here with each other. It's those things that we're doing that show our love to each other. It's the things that we do that are being beneficial to each other, that are lifting each other up. Because the Bible tells us that just one careless word is going to come back to haunt us. That with one word that we can either build someone up or we can completely destroy them. Unfortunately, throughout this week, we hear lots of careless words being thrown around. You never know where they're going to land and who they're going to hurt. That's another point. What we need to do, what we need to focus on is Jesus. Focus on the love that He had for us. I mean, I can't say it any better than Amy said it last night. If that didn't move you last night, I don't know what can. But she spoke the truth. Take that 11-year-old Amy and go back. Open up a Bible somewhere. If you don't have one, find someone who's got one. Read what Jesus did for you. Read it for yourself. It's true. It's amazing what He went through. Think of how much you whined just because you stubbed your toe in the Gaga pit. Or somebody ran into you in a tag and hit you in the head. Or because you got knocked down on the basketball court and you're complaining because your elbow or your knee hurts or something. Bug bite's a good one, thank you. I mean, our pain is nothing. He suffered it all. He not only suffered the physical anguish, He didn't also suffer the beatings and the scourging and the being nailed to the cross and slowly suffocated to death because you can't lift yourself up on a cross. Having His beard ripped out, having a crown of thorns crushed into His head. But He suffered the rejection of every single man and woman, every rejection. If you reject Jesus Christ now, you're just as guilty of putting Him on that cross. But He did it for you anyway. He did it for you to have the opportunity to know His Father in heaven. He did it for you to have the opportunity for this just to be a small, little, insignificant piece of eternity with God. And He did it to show you the great love that God has for you. That He didn't care whether you were going to reject Him or not, He was going to do it. If you were the only person on the face of the planet, He would have done it anyway. Because He cares that much about us. But if you want Jesus to be your rock, you're not always going to have someone to go to. We're leaving camp. We're not going to be here. You're not going to be able to come and ask us questions. And I don't know where you're going home to. Some of you I do, some of you I don't. But I don't know whether you've got someone who knows Jesus, who knows God, who has any kind of wisdom, real wisdom to impart to you in your life when you leave here. But what I do know is exactly what Amy just played right up there with the nowhere and the now here letters. That if you want Jesus to be there right then, at any time, The thing that you need to get in your heart right now is prayer. Prayer is the key. It is our conduit. It's the way we talk to God. And you don't have to get down on your knees. You don't have to bow your head. You don't have to close your eyes. You can be riding on a school bus. You can be riding your bike. You can be in the park. You can be doing anything you want to do at all. You can be shooting hoops by yourself on the basketball court. And at that moment, you feel like you need to talk to God. Just start talking to Him. He's our Father in heaven. Our Father. That's the way He describes Himself. He says that we are able to come to Him and call Him Abba, which is Aramaic Father. It's like saying Papa. It's like saying Daddy. It's an intimate name. It's not like something like you got to reverence. We do reverence God, and I'm saying you don't have to get into some kind of posture. You don't have to feel like you have to come to Him in any specific way. You come to Him in whatever situation you're in at that moment. Right at that moment. He doesn't care if you're down in the mud, in the grime. He doesn't care what's going on. He wants to hear from you right at that moment. If you feel the desire to talk to Him, then you can talk to Him right then. Get into the habit of talking to God. Don't worry about what other people are doing or whatever other people think. You don't have to speak out loud. Think it in your head. It doesn't make a difference. If you need some time with Him, you take some time. But if you want Him to be your rock, if you want Him to be the foundation you build your life on, you've got to include Him in your life. How many of you here are going home to parents? I'm not going home to parents, but I know. Give me an example. Raise your hand for me. All right. You're going home to parents. Going home to foster parents, grandparents, I don't care. The people who take care of you at your home. Do they know what you need if you don't ask them? Well, I bet they do. I bet they know you need food. Pretty sure they know you need clothes. They probably know you need an education. There's things they know. But they don't know when you're hungry unless you say, hey, I'm hungry. Are we eating soon? They don't know, if your clothes have holes in them necessarily, if you keep them in your closet unless you go, hey, all my jeans got holes in the wrong places. Not in the cool places, but the wrong places. So can we get some new clothes? I need a ride to the movies and a little bit of money. Can you bring me that stuff? Can you give me that stuff? As parents, we don't know these things unless our children come to us. As God, our Father, He doesn't know these things unless we come to Him. God knows everything, but He wants us to come to Him and tell Him what we need. That's what He says. He says, if we ask it of Him in His name, then we will receive it. You want a closer relationship with Him? Then God, I want to be closer to you. You'll have what you ask for. You've got a situation at home that you need changed. God, I need the situation at home changed. You pray for it. Don't come to Him with nothing. Come to Him with everything. It doesn't make a difference what it is. Prayer is our key. It's what we need to get into our lives. It's a habit that you need to have. It's better than taking a shower every day. It's better than brushing your teeth. It's better than getting up and making sure your hair is just right. It's one of those things when you get up in the morning, just be thankful. You woke up another day. It's another day you get to go out there, play basketball, hang out with your friends, trudge through school. It doesn't make a difference what it is. God gave you that day, that one more day. Tell Him about it. Tell Him what's on your heart. Tell Him what you need. Tell Him that you're thankful for the things that He has provided for you, that He's enabled your parents to provide for you, that He's enabled your grandparents, anything. What I'm saying is we need to get conversational with our God. We need to quit thinking of Him as someone who's just out there that we never see, we never hear, we never think about. He gave us 66 books. He gave us a thick little manual on how to live life and about how much He loves us. It's one big, giant, huge love letter about how much He cares about us. Take the time to open it up and look at it. You don't have to do it a lot. Just take a couple of verses a day. You want to know what God feels about you? He told us right there. And then after you read something, think about it for a little bit. Talk to him about it a little bit. Let him speak to your spirit, because God will speak directly to your spirit. You'll know when he's talking to you. It's an amazing thing just to know right then that he's there in your presence speaking directly to you. That he can comfort you in no matter what situation it is. That he can be ever present wherever you are. So when you leave here, just because we're not around, or you may not have anyone to talk to, you've always got a presence. God's always right there. Even if you take off and you decide that you don't want to have anything to do with him, if you turn around right then and look back, he's right behind you. His arms are open wide, and he's just waiting for you to come back to him right then and there. Jesus told a story in the Bible. How many of you have ever heard of the prodigal son? A few of you have. All right. So I'm going to explain it real quick, paraphrase. There was this rich farmer, had a big farm, raised animals, raised crops, had many servants, lots of people worked for him, and he had two sons. He had an older son and a younger son. In those days, the older son usually got everything. The younger son didn't get a whole lot. The younger son said, well, I'm not getting the farm. I'm not getting everything that, the father's got for me. So he went to his dad and said, hey, I want everything that's going to be mine so I can go off and find my own thing to do. Because I'm not getting this place anyway. I'm ready just to go. I'm going to go do this on my own. So his father said, okay. And he gave him the stuff. And he took off from there. Well, he went out and he went and had a lot of fun, went to the clubs, found all the wrong people to hang out with, got into all kinds of trouble. They helped him spend all of his money, helped him, lose all of his clothes, made sure he didn't have any food to eat because they ate it all up for him. He lost everything that he had real quick because he made all the wrong decisions. And so he's sitting there destitute. He's sitting there like a bum, and he's like, this is not what I expected out of life. This is not what I wanted at all. He's like, he started thinking back to home. He's like, even the lowest paid servant at my father's house is getting, they're getting meals every day. They got a place to live. They got clothes on their back. They got it way better than I do because I'm out here on the streets hustling for nothing. So he said, I'm going to go home. Maybe my dad, maybe he'll just let me work for him and I can make a little bit of money and have something to eat. So he went back. And his father saw him coming from afar and told all of his servants, he was like, hey, go prepare a feast. I see my son coming up the road. So they prepared a feast and said, hey, go get some good robes. He's looking shabby. So they went and they got the good robes, and when he got there, father just put his arms around him, put him, clothed him in good clothes, fed him, made sure he had everything he needed. And he just took him right back on in. It doesn't make a difference where we go from God. He's always right there ready to take us back. He's always right there waiting for you to reach out to him. That's all he made us for. We were not made to be basketball players. We were not made to be movie stars. We were not made to be singers. We were not made to be plumbers. We were not made to be carpenters. We were made for one thing and one thing only. God wanted to have a relationship with each and every single one of you. He was interested in who you were and who you're going to be. He has a perfect plan for you from the moment that your conception is made. From the very beginning, before you even come out of your mother's womb, he has a perfect idea of who you should be. And if you allow him to move in your life, talk to him, get into prayer, and really speak with him, he'll move you into that place. And you're going to find out that it doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter whether you made it into the NBA. It doesn't matter whether you even got to be, an actor on a small little play in your hometown. It doesn't make a difference what you do to end up making ends meet. Because God, you're all that's important. You're the superstar already. He doesn't need anything else from you. And the funny thing is, the more you talk to him, the more you pray, the more you get closer to him, you realize that you don't need anything in this world besides him.
Amen.
That you can weather any storm, that you can go through anything in your life at all, as long as you know that Jesus has got your back. You don't need anything else. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference at all. It doesn't matter what they say about you. It doesn't matter whether you got enough food to eat today, because you know God. You just start trusting. You're just like, you know what? I may be hungry right now, but I know He's bringing me some food. And the next thing you know, you can find food. Someone's going to bring you something, just out of nowhere. Because God sees your needs and He's going to fulfill them. Whether it's a need in your heart, whether it's a need in your physical life, it doesn't make a difference. He's going to take care of us for everything we do. The only thing we have to do is follow one verse. It's one of my favorite verses. It's something to constantly remind yourself of. It's found in the book of Matthew, chapter 6. It's 30-something. I keep forgetting. It's one of my favorite verses now. It's like, what, 33? 633, 32?
6:34.
34?
Seek first.
Or like at the very end, it doesn't matter. Seek first God's kingdom and all His righteousness, and everything else in this world will be added unto you. It doesn't make a difference. You don't need to worry about anything else in life. From about verse 25 in that chapter to the whole end, rest of that chapter, you should read it. Read it every day. Think about it. You don't worry about anything. You don't worry about how you dress. You don't worry about what you're going to eat. You don't worry about where anything's coming from, because God's going to take care of it. He's got it in control. If you give Him your trust, if you give Him your love, He gives it all back to you. The only thing you have to do is focus on Him. So when you leave here, and if you don't have anyone to speak with, and even if you do, the first one that we need to speak with is you. I just want you to think about prayer. Remember, it's not a last resort. It should be a habit that is a way of life to us. You want to be closer to God. So many of you come up on this altar saying you want a close relationship with God, and you need to talk to Him every single day. He's your parent in heaven, just like your parents are here. They need to talk to you. He doesn't know we love Him unless we tell Him we love Him. You go home to your mom and dad, you don't say a word to them all day long. Are they going to think something's wrong? Are they going to think you love them? Probably not. They're going to be like, what is their problem? Same thing with God. He wants to hear from us. He wants to know about us. He sees it, but He wants to hear from you. He wants that intimacy with you. He wants to be close to you. That's the only way that we have, Lord. I just want you to think about that.